I've made this video 3 times, and they're all in excess of 10 minutes. I'm trying to be conscious of your time. Alright, I'm not going to tell you my life story about why I have all this stuff. Let's just talk about what I have, and then we can go into detail about how to use it later. Okay. 2 Exide batteries, Nautilus dual purpose, 27 NDP, 730 marine cranking amps, 575 cold cranking amps, 160 reserve charge minutes, and 88 amp hour. Dual mode, marine and RV. Received them both. One of them was holding 12.9 volts from the moment I pulled it out of the garage. The other one was deeply discharged, like 6 volts. But I know how to resuscitate a deeply discharged battery, and I have a really good Pro 20 amp Shoemaker battery charger. So I can revive dead batteries. It takes a lot of time. We're not going to talk about that because that's not on the I'm going to try and revive that myself. I have the duplicate of that in the car already. I bought 2 of them to put 2 of them in my car, but that one's draining faster than the other one. So what you don't want to do is have one that just holds a perfect charge like a normal battery should, and one that drains a little bit faster than the other, because even though this one would support it and provide extra voltage, what you're basically going to get is a parasitic load that now affects both of those batteries. So I don't want to attach in a system 2 batteries unless they're both the same battery chemistry, same battery manufacturer, and ideally in basically the same health state. Otherwise, I would need to put them on like a switch. 2 battery monitoring systems. Boop, boop. This one can do 2 battery banks. A lot of detail on the first. This is a 500 amp shunt that goes with it. That's an incredible thing to have as well. And all battery monitoring systems need them. But the cool thing about this is it can be a battery monitoring system if you mount it to like the distribution blocks of a battery bank. You can use it in conjunction with another one of those to get a different style and more detailed readout that goes in both directions. This one only monitors one direction at a time. But you can switch it, its wiring, and do the other one as well. You just got to pick one or the other. You can't do both directions. And you can monitor, if I'm correct, like the alternator with that. It's a different hookup. But yeah, they're kind of all the same principle. It's just about where this connects to the negative and where you're pulling, because these are going to mount, well, these go to this, basically. There's a wire on each of that, and that's what these are, it connects to those. So that's an Amazon one, really useful. I already filed it down for discrete mounting. Much better than this one. They're both the same price, but this is more basic, but it's Bluetooth also. And this one, you download an app. App's not really maintained, but it works fine. It tracks voltage over time. It tracks your location if you want it to. It does voltage, temperature. I have every type of, these are all lugs, and these are like, I think they're not really a distribution block, terminal mounts. So bolt it to the chassis. You've got 2 0 gauge you can throw in there, but it's also a good way to connect. If you just have 2 short lengths of wire and you need them to connect, put one of these in, put one in, and then the other one on the other side, and now they're connected, and you don't have to like wrap them in electrical tape. So this is another distribution block, 150 amp resettable breaker. These take the larger blade fuses. Bag of extra 0 gauge, 4 gauge oxygen free copper. Your Phoenix pure Sinewave inverter, 12 volt, 1200 watts, with an Evo Mode and a remote control. It's really cool. I forget the purpose of that chassis ground. Sometimes you install that chassis ground, sometimes you don't. I think it's depending on, how your car's internal system is grounded. Evo Mode, if I'm correct, allows you to just always operate that at a lower charge, or if it's not drawing, it's either, if you're not going to use all that 1200 watts, it either allows you to just run it at a lower state all the time, or if I'm correct, that this type of Evo Mode might be different, where when it senses that it's idling and you're not pulling a load on it, it automatically kind of goes into a sleep mode until electricity is needed. You don't want to have one of those switched on if it's not under load. And if it's under load, if it's 1200 watts, don't put 200 watts on that. You want to at least 3/4 load down one of those so that you don't, when these are in the system, they're on the positive end of the system, like with the battery, and they're a little bit touchy sometimes, but it's a beast, it's a tank. But if you're going to turn it on, have it about 800 watts. Have your need be as close to the max as possible, but I would say try not to run like a 500 watt load on this. And then if you're not using it, turn it off. This is a Citizen band transceiver MCB40. You know, given to me. Don't know if it works. I'm sure it's probably fine. Programmable capacitive touchscreen. You run a USB for power. You have another USB that is data and signal from the laptop, and then you have an HDMI, which is the video out from the laptop. So this allows you to control a computer that it's attached to. So it gives you a really cool, large, like you can have your laptop mounted, or any type of computer for that matter. You can even have that screen hooked up to an Android phone, come to think of it, and have it be controlling whatever the computer on the other end does. So when I had it hooked up to my Windows computer, I set up my Windows laptop to use this as a second screen. And as a second screen, it's a second touch screen. So you got a mouse and a keyboard that pops up. So you can basically run it as a computer. You know, it's not super snappy, super fast. It is a little bit older, but I mean, who cares? What kind of functionality do you want to add to a vehicle where a capacitive touchscreen would come in handy that has 2 speakers on the back? We've got a Rockford Fosgate P2, dual voice coil 10-inch sub, fucking beefcake, dual 4-ohm voice coils. So if you wire them in series, you're going to get 8 ohms, and if you're going to wire those dual voice coils in 2 ohms, you get 500 watts. And my friend, so this, oh, that's right, this wasn't my sub, and this wasn't my amp. I built the box for it, and I left the box somewhere, and the guy who sold me that, for a really good price, had installed his sub and amp in my box, and apparently they're perfect together. That is an Alpine V12 MRV F300, 4-channel, dual B circuit V12, and it runs this perfectly. But, you know, well, yeah, no, as long as if you can get as close to RMS as possible, that's ideal. You know, you don't want to run peak all the time, because, you know, then that extra taxes whatever it is that you're powering it with. But like, if you could feed this thing, I think 300 watts, which is what this ends up doing in the 2-ohm mode, you're just above RMS. So apparently it sounds really good. I've never heard it because I haven't hooked it up. I bought these brand new for my car. I'm going all JBL for the speakers. And then we sat for a while, and I didn't take care of where they were sitting, and I poked a hole in that and tried to fix it by melting black zip ties. Because, you know, I've learned about how to repair, you know, plastic on batteries, because sometimes you get burns and whatnot, and you can kind of use zip ties, or any type of black plastic for that matter, as like a welding material, like a solder. So I tried to repair this without reading on how to repair these. So it's never been used. These are JBL 604Cs with the 2 tweeters and that. I don't really need them. I think you know, most of the cars install is very discreet. I don't want it to be visible. So yeah, you know, that's what I have. But I have lots of other things as well for the, well, I bought a bunch of like Raspberry Pis and accessories and battery banks and stuff like that for enhanced content creation. So yeah, let's just have a chat, dude. Like, what are your needs? What are you trying to do? Like, I would just really love to help other people either design and install, repair, or, you know, just visualize, you know, what do you want to build into your vehicle? Like, there might be coming a time where it's a good idea for people to get out of the cities for a while and go out into rural areas. Well, if your vehicle has the capacity, you know, to house you, then you can not just sleep in it, you can be in multiple locations across short periods of time, and you have your home with you. So, but what is it that you do besides sleeping and driving? That's where I'm coming from. Is everybody has a hobby. Everyone has things that they enjoy doing, or if they were away from home for a long period, what would they want that is normally at home that would really be handy if it was in its car? So I focused on audio performance as a DJ, and not just audio performance, but like externally focused audio performance. And I want to be able to, you know, record, edit, and upload any videos made. So full computer lab, and it's able to sleep too. So yeah, let's get crazy with it. You know, let me know what your needs are. All right, man.